want to let you know about, and these are going to impact especially shoppers here with fake renewal notices. Email consumers are really getting hit with this. And so Juliana Oorg from the Better Business Bureau joining us with this common scam that consumers need to be aware of. Juliana, thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, so walk us through these fake subscription renewal email scams for us. Why don't you?
Yep. So basically what's happening is businesses are being essentially replicated, if you will, through these emails that are being sent to consumers saying, hey, your subscription is up. We need you to renew this. You get that email. You click on that link. You're not maybe paying too much attention. You put in your credit card information. And unfortunately, you realize then that it's a scam. Your subscription isn't technically up. That website isn't legitimate. But unfortunately, if you put your information in, it's a little late. So we want people to be aware that this is happening. So I know we all get a plethora of emails every single day. It's overwhelming, but pay attention to stuff like that. If you get an email for a subscription notice that maybe you didn't know was up for renewal or something along those lines, do some homework research behind the scenes to make sure that that's in fact accurate. A lot of our subscriptions, they're on auto pay and they just run every single month. So there's not really a, hey, it's up for renewal. I mean, there's still definitely things that you're going to be doing like that if it's not a monthly payment per se, but you want to be really careful. And there's a lot of telltale signs with those emails that you get that you can see that it's a scam. So a couple things, who's the email address, what's it coming from? Can you actually find that email address on their website, or does the domain actually match the website? Are there spelling and grammatical errors? What does that link look like? Hover over it before you actually click on it to see where it's going. Also, reach out to the actual company to see if you are up for renewal.
All right. What makes these emails so convincing to some people?
Yeah, so they have gotten really good to make, obviously, the emails look legitimate, but there's still those few telltale signs, such as the spelling or grammar errors. If they include images, you can also see and do the reverse Google search to see where those images are coming from. But the emails do look legitimate, and so it's a little bit harder to tell now than it used to be in the past. But those are things you want to keep an eye out for.
You mentioned that the renewal dates, some of them, it seems like they actually know the renewal date. How is that possible?
Yeah, so sometimes information like that, we've got leaks all over the web, things like that. So there's plenty of ways for them to have that information. There's plenty of ways for them to already have your personal information as well, which is how sometimes those emails look really good because they include account numbers or, obviously they're sending it to your personal email address. But that's another thing too. If you're not asking for emails and things like that from companies, be very careful, because if you're just getting unsolicited emails or text message, that's going to be a red flag as well. But the biggest recommendation we can give for something like this is if you do get an email, you're not sure, or maybe, oh yeah, I do know I'm up for renewal, still go out to that company's website and, sign into the account you actually have with them, or call them, so that way if you are going to make a payment or update that information, it's with the legitimate company and not some random person that sent you an email.
Yeah, and these are not companies like a made-up company. These are big-name companies like Geek Squad, Sirius XM.
All kinds of them. Yeah, they will impersonate any company that they can make look legitimate. They have no problem ripping that off. So be very careful, be diligent, and do your homework.
All right, from tech or emails to pets. All the pet parents out there, potential targets because of pet purchase scams. What are we talking about here, Juliana?
Yeah, so we know lots of people, of course, like to get pets. It's summer, so there's a lot of people, maybe their work schedules are a little more relaxed, kids are out of school, so it's a perfect time to get pets. March is National Pet Month. So not quite as heavy, in the summer as it is in March, but we want people to know that puppy scams, and also not just puppies, but kittens, pets in general, these scams are very active and they're happening all the time. So if you're looking to get a pet, the biggest recommendation we can give is go visit that seller in person. When you're trying to do everything online, that can be a little tough to know whether or not you're dealing with a real person, and by the time you find that out, it might be a little too late.
And at what point do you realize that you're dealing with a scammer?
Yeah, a lot of times people don't realize they're actually dealing with a scammer until after they've maybe paid for the puppy, and now the person is asking them to pay for transportation fees or veterinarian fees or whatever fee they've made up, and they now need you to pay more money. And so oftentimes consumers don't realize it's a scammer until they start asking them for this additional money. And at that point, they've probably already paid a decent price for whichever puppy they thought that they were going to get. And so now they've already lost money. Hopefully they don't continue to lose any more money, but they certainly won't have a pet, and that's really sad.
Oh my gosh, that is so sad. And scammers, it's not like a company, so they're going to ask for that peer-to-peer payment. Is that a red flag? I mean, that's how we're going to end up paying for a potential pet there, right?
Yeah, we always recommend paying with a credit card. If it's a legitimate company that's, breeding dogs and they're actually selling them, we always recommend paying with a credit card. But again, go meet them in person. Do that due diligence. Also research, the name of if it's a person, if it's a company, to see what other people are saying. Have they had good experiences? If this is a reputable seller, they should have a reputable website. They should have plenty of recommendations from people. If you get on the website, you should be able to reverse image search the images that are on there. But not only that, maybe copy a line or two of text and throw that in Google and see, is this text populating on any other website? Because oftentimes scammers will put a website up, and as soon as somebody realizes they're a fraud, they'll take it down and they'll replicate with just a different URL, but all the content will be the same. And so if you just grab a line or two of text and throw it in Google, you can also see, is that showing up on any other website?
Oh, very good. And how can you tell if a breeder or seller is legitimate?
Yeah, so just do your research. You want to look them up online. Like I said, see if there's reviews, complaints. You're welcome to look them up at bbb.org to see if they have a profile with us. But like I said, biggest thing you can do to protect yourself is actually ask to meet them in person. And a reputable seller should be happy to meet you. They should be happy to show you what puppies they have that they're willing to sell. And it should be a very smooth and friendly process versus, just strictly transactional, them only asking you for money, not being willing to meet with you or show you them in person. Those are all going to be big red flags.
All right. Very good advice. Anything else we should know when it comes to these two scams that we're talking about this morning?
Yeah, just do your due diligence. Don't feel pressured to ever pay somebody that you don't know. I think that's one of the biggest things too, is when we get emails like that, we want to act immediately and act fast, but take a breath and relax.
Yes, I like that. We just need to do that for life anyway. Take a breath, relax. Juliana Oorg, thank you for joining us here in the Live Impact studio. Appreciate you, as always, giving us the heads up. I know you're going to be over at Charlotte today in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks so much for having me.